Jodie, Sweetin, Beverley, Mitchell, and Christine. Lakin.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Before we do anything else,
Yes.
Jodie, can you fill us in on what's going on with your foot?
It's purely for sympathy.
It's fashionable.
Yeah, no. About 2 months ago, I was at my older daughter's soccer tournament with my 2 kids, and my younger daughter, B, who is 6, threw a silly little $1 toy over about a 4-foot tall fence, and I lifted myself up over to rescue it for her, and I fell and I snapped my tibia and my ankle and had to have surgery and a steel plate put in and about 7 pins, and I just started walking on it last week, so.
On the upside, Mother of the Year.
Yeah, totally.
The $1 toy is gone, though. She's like, I think that afternoon she didn't care about it anymore, so it was totally worth it.
Oh, man. Is that the same ankle you injured during Dancing with the Stars?
I actually didn't injure my ankle during Dancing with the Stars. I bruised the side of my foot, the bones in the side of my foot.
But it was the other foot?
But it was the same foot.
Oh.
And I've broken this ankle before, so I have very bad luck on the left side of my body. I've broken
Well,
my
I'm glad to be
wrist
sitting on
twice.
your
like,
left
yeah,
side.
it's just, yeah. Now you all know my medical history as well.
Thank
so
you. Thank you for
I know
that.
you've been waiting for that.
Well, now we can move on and talk about
yes,
Hollywood
the important
Darlings.
fun stuff. And look, there I am. There's I'm jumping. I'm so
That's
happy.
just days before it happened,
Yes,
too.
it was.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad you got that photo shoot done before,
So am I.
Before the injury. You guys all look so cute.
Thanks.
And I've gotten to see advanced episodes, so I can tell you guys from experience, this show is fantastic. I feel
thank
like
you.
I've gotten to know you a little bit because you've created this show playing versions of yourselves.
Yes.
Exaggerated.
So I would like to know what is it about each of you that you brought to the show, and what is it that you have invented for the show?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll start. So I play a much more exaggerated version of myself in that I'm sort of the hippy-dippy. I am definitely the kind of like avant-garde. I'm the one to sort of like say the things that shock everyone. There's a part of me that is like that in real life because I just, especially with my friends, I enjoy making people laugh. I will be a clown for a joke. If I can make you laugh, I'm happy to be the idiot, the lovable fool. So
And
it's a little bit part of my
Christine
personality.
really
anyway.
does a lot of idiocy in the show. But I mean that but like hilarious, really over the top, ridiculous.
Start,
fun
Jodie,
stuff.
start.
Yeah.
I love there's an episode where Christine decides her life won't be complete until she goes to the prom. And
Yes.
hilarity
That was
ensues.
so much fun.
Thank you. And I actually did go to my prom, but we thought what a fun way to, since we were all growing up on television, there were certain things that we kind of missed out on. So the idea of me trying to go back to prom and finding a prom date, it just got more and more ridiculous as the episode goes on. So I eventually get kicked out because I'm just such a crazy person.
But by the way, I have to say you totally rocked that pink and black glitter dress. I'm
hello,
obsessed with it.
Dress
That-
was.
yeah,
That
was
dress
hers.
was kind of amazing.
That came from her
You
closet
own that dress?
in real life.
Do.
Wow.
That was actually from an.
Wait, that's yours?
That's mine.
didn't know that?
Just
I
watch
can-
just
I
for
not
the
know
dress.
By
you
the way,
guys.
I can be cool sometimes. It's very rare.
Honey,
There
that
was
dress is not cool.
It is. It's so. I mean, I guess maybe that's saying something
I mean,
about
it
me.
was.
I love
it was at one point in our lives.
Okay. What
you
about
still
you,
have it.
Beverly?
That you just
Bev?
got away from it. Yes.
What's something about you that you brought to the show, and what's something that you exaggerated for the show or
I would
invented?
like to think that I am not as over the top, square, as I am on the show. I mean, I think I definitely. Stop. I definitely play I'm not as innocent as I play on TV. I think I like to have fun as well. But on this show, I was definitely the girl that's in bed by 8 o'clock, unless I'm Pinteresting, which I might be doing, or creating vision boards for things, which I would also be doing on the show.
I love the camping episode where
I am the prepared girl, and I am the girl, if you need something, I pretty much have the person for you.
That's very true.
I have a very deep Rolodex of people, so if you
She's
need
got
a
a guy
gardener
for everything.
or
Yeah.
Well connected.
Yes.
yes.
I'll keep that in mind. And how about
Mine,
you?
I mean, I am definitely not as sort of, cold-hearted as I am in the show. I mean, and I don't think it's cold-hearted, but it's, I definitely play a very
Sardonic.
Yeah, sardonic, very, it's kind of dark, sarcastic. And I do have that personality, but, when it comes to my kids and my family, there's an episode about a minivan purchase that I am very resistant to. Right. Yeah. And, ironically, that actually is my minivan that we used in the show, and I love my minivan.
And I do not
I mean, I
own a
have my
minivan.
other car, but that car I love.
I'm afraid
so
of the
it was,
minivan.
it was really funny, actually.
So you guys obviously are known. I love the name Hollywood Darlings, by the way, because I feel like it's.
You do too.
I feel like darling has a double meaning, right? Like it
Absolutely.
means like you're celebrated and everybody loves you, but it also is a bit diminutive, which is a callback to the fact that you guys all started working. And we, as the public, got to see you from a really young age. It's like, look, so cute.
Absolutely.
And now you're
also,
adult
if
women.
we're in this show, once you watch some of the episodes, we're sort of anything but like darling little, and so that was kind of a fun thing. It was like Hollywood darlings, and yet here we are, making complete fools of ourselves and being very adult and very, very much not the child stars that we were 30 years ago.
It seems to me that you, through this show, are both sort of taking yourself out of the 90s zeitgeist, but also embracing your role in it.
Definitely.
Like there's an episode where, spoiler alert, wait, do you say how rude in one of the episodes or somebody else does?
I think
we go to a fan convention.
Yes, that's right.
And I'm, where we're signing autographs, and I sort of say, gosh, it's so great that you have a catchphrase, because when people come up to talk to you, you can just be like, how rude. And they're like, oh, that's amazing. And they just sign the picture and leave. And then we made fun of the fact that, like, I just get sucked into these conversations and people are telling me their medical histories and their stats, and I'm just like, oh, I know, I get it.
And you
it's
just
like
wish you
20
could be
minutes
like,
later,
how rude.
I was like, God, if I just had a catchphrase.
Yeah. And of course, we just saw a clip of you guys getting approached by fans. I understand a lot of real life situations have made their way into the show. I can only imagine how often you're approached.
That happens quite a bit.
Like last night.
Yeah.
Were you guys all together?
We all went out to
Yes.
dinner last night, and the hostess seating us was like, oh my gosh, it's Jodie Sweetin and Beverley Mitchell. And Christine was like, huh? And we're like,
Like,
and,
oh
and
yeah, no
that's
problem.
Christine,
You'll take
yeah.
the picture?
Right,
Great.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm like the Rodney Dangerfield of the group. I get no respect, but it's fine. I'm okay with it. I embrace this part of it, and I think I just need to either wear a backwards hat all the time.
Yeah, you just need the green hat.
Yeah, the
And
green
then-
hat. But no, it's very funny, and of course that was like one of the things we just had to put in the show because it was too rich, and it's a runner throughout
Just
the
the
entire
whole
season.
series, yeah.
And through life.
Do you really say, when you take the picture, do you really say Al Lambert?
I mean, I didn't do it last night, but I have
But
wanted
last week.
to many
No.
times.
I think I'm going to start saying that to people instead of say
That's
cheese.
I'm going to start saying it too and really throw them off.
That's your
Yeah,
favorite one.
Lambert, yeah, there you go.
Do you guys watch yourselves on TV when the episodes come on? Do you have them on DVDs? Do you...
Step by Step has
you
aired
actively
in a
avoid
really
it?
long time, but it was airing for a while, and I can't say I was like rushing to like tune in, but I did catch a few. It's weird. It's like watching a scrapbook of your life, but it's not really you. But I can remember, like, I still remember lines. Like, all of a sudden, the scene will start, and I'll be like, oh, God, I know the punchline. How do I remember that?
Yeah.
I can't remember what I ate for breakfast, but I can remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know that my kids have watched some of the older episodes, but I don't really. I mean, I've never watched much of the show, and I've watched the Fuller House episodes. Before they air, we kind of screen them at our producer's house and stuff. So I've watched those, but I definitely am not one to like sit and watch myself on TV. It feels strange and
would
See, I
Unbelievable.
used to love to watch Seventh Heaven. I even had my date with my husband. I was trying to impress him, so I made him watch my show, and he thought I was an absolute
This is a real
weirdo.
thing that
Was
happened.
that while it was still on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. We were. I thought it was gonna make me like really cool, and that he would be like, "Wow, this chick's awesome."
Well, he did
Instead,
end up
was
marrying
like,
you.
No, he was
Not
like,
that impressed.
"You are bizarre." But apparently,
Did you make it through a whole episode though?
No, he turned it off after
Okay.
the first commercial break. He was just like, "I can't do this. This is just weird." And
My husband has never seen Step by Step.
Really? Still?
I know, but he played football and he wrestled. So like on Friday nights, they just weren't home, and they weren't like going to record a show. Like that
Yeah,
wasn't.
it was different.
Yeah, because back then you had to
back
have
when
like
VHS. Was
you had to have like an engineering degree to program your
Yeah,
VCR.
yeah.
I mean,
I can't believe that Step by Step hasn't been brought back. That
Isn't
it's
it
not like
weird?
on Nick at Night or something.
let's just like hashtag bring it back. Step by
Yeah,
Step.
bring back Step by Step. Maybe you can talk to the people at Pop.
Maybe we could.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be actually cool. Just like
I know
show
someone
this
there.
show and have it lead into
Totally.
old episodes of your shows. I'm actually wondering, you guys are all parents, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether having access to that material of yourself as a child, whether or not you watch it, has any kind of impact on your parenting. Like, do
For
you
me,
feel like
not
you have
really.
more access to remembering or understanding your own childhood as a way to empathize with them because you were in the public eye?
I mean, my own childhood is vastly different from my kids' childhood. You know, what I was doing when I was my kids' age, you know, I had a full-time job, and my kids are like, oh, I've got homework. I'm like, oh, stop it. Like, I don't want to hear it. You know, like, do you know what I was doing at your age? I was walking uphill in the snow both ways to Warner Brothers Studios. No, but yeah, I mean, I you know, the way I parent my kids is just so very different from what I grew up doing. But I think, you know, having that experience, I mean, has helped me kind of I mean, I think we all were, we grew up so early, you know what I mean? We had such adult responsibilities at such an early age. I think sometimes, like, I realize when my kids are just being, you know, 9 and 6, like, they've been on the planet for 9 years and 6 years respectively, like, I shouldn't really expect that much.
If anything, I think it's made me a lot more empathetic towards my mom. You know, my parents really sacrificed a lot for me to be able to pursue and follow my dreams. And, you know, I think now with my child, I mean, I would do anything for her. But they really went to great lengths, you know, so far as to, like, move across the country and be like, okay, you want to do this, here we go, kid. You know, so I have a whole new respect for that.
Yeah. Have any of your kids expressed interest in getting into the business?
My kids are only 2 and 4, so I mean,
Well,
most that they
as
express.
Jodie was playing Stephanie at that age.
Yeah, well,
yeah, come on, get them on. What are they doing?
Kenzie
Sitting around the house.
Kenzie definitely has the dramatic flair. I see a lot of myself in her, which is terrifying, because that means I'm in for a real bumpy road. But, you know, obviously, people have asked me this before, and I think that if my kids really wanted to get into the business, I would support that because, I mean, I don't think I turned out that bad, so.
Well, no.
My daughter Zoe, my 9-year-old, she's almost 9 in 2 weeks, but if I don't call her 9 now, she'll freak out. But she actually did a little extra guest appearance on an episode of Fuller House last season. She and Andrea Barber's daughter played Max's classmates. Cool. And so she was very excited, but she thought it was a very long day. And she, at the end of the day, was like, Mommy, do you get up this early every day to go to work? I was like, yeah, that's why I can't take you to school sometimes and pick you up. She was like, I'm sorry. This is a lot of hard work. So I was like, it was kind of actually nice. I think she understood it. And then my little one wants to be a singer. So that's like what she wants to do. But we'll see how it goes.
I'm so glad you brought up singing because I know all three of you have some music in your bones.
We do.
Indeed.
Beverley, you released an album, and Jodie, you just sang on an episode of Fuller House. You
Yeah,
sang
they
Take Me Out to the
released the
Ballgame.
single, The Boy Next Door from last season.
Yeah.
They released it on iTunes, and it made it, I think, up to, like, I don't know, 14 or something on the, like, iTunes soundtrack chart, and they didn't, like, even really promote it that well.
That's
So I was like,
amazing.
oh, I put
And
it
then
on iTunes.
Christine, you've been doing musical theater. You've been in some of regional productions of some of my favorite musicals.
Oh, do tell.
Heathers,
Yes.
and Silence. Silence.
That was one of
which
my
my friend
favorites.
Hunter wrote.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Can you talk about being in Reefer Madness?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I remember I went and saw you in that.
Yes.
It was so good.
It was an amazing experience. You know, it's like a really incredible group of people, and in such a labor of love. You know, it started as a very small show in LA, built its way to New York, and then finally became the movie musical for Showtime. So I was just actually really honored to just be amongst that cast and like to do a movie musical. It is like you are back in like the 1930s, and you are doing like rehearsals. There's major cameras. There's major dance numbers. I mean, it was just I was like in heaven.
It's like an episode of Fuller House.
kind of.
We
right?
do like these crazy musical production numbers on our show sometimes. It's very fun, but yeah, it's
Weird fun fact. I was actually in Happy Days, the musical that Gary Marshall directed, and at one point we had lots of different rotating Fonzies. At one point, Joey McIntyre was our Fonzie.
Who also has a show on
Who also has a show on
Yes.
Pop.
And who did an episode of Fuller House last season.
Oh my gosh.
Bringing it
was
full circle.
Rory O'Malley in it with you?
Yes, he was.
Who's currently playing the King on the national tour of Hamilton.
Yes.
Also a friend of
Which
mine.
is how I got Hamilton tickets.
That's amazing.
Because how else can you get them?
Well, I
so
want to know,
awesome.
like, are you guys going to be making any more music? I'm especially interested to know whether you're going to be coming to New York to be on the stage, any or all of you.
I would always entertain that as a possibility. I absolutely love theater. It is in my blood. It is how I started. It is what I did sort of, whether things were high or low in my career, it has been the main and the steady. And it's just something I will always do. It makes me feel like an artist no matter what.
Yeah.
I love I actually went to a performing arts high school for musical theater and did musical theater and singing all through high school. I love doing it, but I'm terrified to do it on stage. I think with just the confidence factor for me, I get really, really nervous. But I do love doing live theater.
Do you feel like it would be different than Dancing with the Stars?
No, that also was equally as terrifying. But
You rocked it.
I tried.
You did.
So, I think it's just kind of like overcoming that. I mean, even, singing on Fuller House, and they've written all these original songs and I've sang and all that kind of stuff. It's brought out a different side of me, something that I love to do. I mean, I've taken voice lessons my whole life and done all of that, and I love it. But I never really did it in front of anyone. And so now getting to do it on the show, I'm like, okay, maybe just dip my toe in the water and kind of, maybe I'll be like Christine one day and actually have,
Like just belt it out.
the chutzpah to get on stage and do it.
I would love to do a karaoke episode.
Yeah.
There's lots of
We got to get a
ideas
music
floating
budget.
around.
Yes.
Yeah. We have a lot of ideas for season
that's the
2.
problem. We'd have to write our own song.
Yeah.
So, Beverly, I remember your song Angel.
Yes. Which I
and-
actually wrote.
Yeah, and I loved it. I remember hearing the story about how that song came about. And I'm wondering whether you have any music in your future. Are you going to be releasing another album anytime soon?
Not currently. I'm not working on any music. It was such an incredible experience going down to Nashville and writing with writers and actually getting to record with the craziest, most talented musicians that I could ever dream of. So it'd be hard to top that, but you never say never. It was an amazing experience. I absolutely loved it. I've been in Mommy Land quite recently, so but who knows? Who knows what the next year will bring, and who knows
We'll do
what
an
Hollywood.
album, all three of us will be like the next Destiny's Child. or
Yes,
something.
watch.
Oh my gosh. Totally.
Can you just include a song from Heather's the Musical on
problem.
there?
I'll see if I can.
There we go. We can just do all musical numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be perfect. I bet you guys all sing to your kids too.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
definitely.
That's great.
Usually
Whether they
Just
like
tell me
it
to be
or
quiet
not.
in the car. I'm like singing the Moana soundtrack. They're like, "Mom, shh."
I know
I'm
Hutton.
like, "Shine it!" Like just all super into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Mom, stop."
I know Hutton always tells me, he says, "Mommy, no singing, no
Yeah.
singing." So I mean, according to
sing
my
louder.
children, I should never sing again.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I sing louder when they do that, or I dance in the supermarket when they tell me not to
them.
do it. Yeah.
So let's go back to Hollywood Darlings. I know that you guys have improv'd a lot of these scenes.
All of them.
All of them.
So, but you must have an idea of what the show's going to be about. So, is there a writer's room for this show?
No, it's us. They release us into the scene, and we go.
So, where do the scene ideas come from, and how much is plotted out, and then where does the improv come in?
We had about 3-4 weeks out before we started. We each individually had sit-downs with our showrunner Shannon, where we talked about what's up in our lives right now, what are some ideas that we brought to the table, what stuff that we want to bring onto the show that we don't want to bring onto the show. We filled out, what was it, like a 5-page?
It's a very
questionnaire,
long
yeah.
questionnaire.
Very long questionnaire. And she kind of took all of this information and said, okay, here's how I see you guys. And then it was really about like, okay, we're going to do a camping episode. We're going to there's going to be an episode about...
Which, by the way, when you see yourself on paper, it doesn't always look very good. I'm not going to lie that when I first got my, the paper, I was like, I don't like her at all. This is terrible. And the girls are like, no, it's not that bad. I was like, yes, it is. I am not like this. That's you. I was like, this is...
I am not this type A.
I am not. I'm like, I am
about how
not.
not type A you are.
Yeah.
I was not that tightly wound. I am not.
But it makes
believe you,
for
I believe
comedic.
But it was really fun once we kind of got to get in there and really play it out. And I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So we would
Okay, I'm
know,
fine
like in
with
an
that.
episode, sort of scene by scene,
Right.
this is the information we need to get out. There's a point A and a point B.
And we'd have
how
like
you
two
guys get
storylines,
there-
sort of, and
Yeah, how you get there is up to you.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
okay.
here's a beginning, here's an end, and then just kind
Fill
of
in the middle.
create the middle and try and be funny the whole
I
time.
assume that
For
the-
16, 17 hours a day.
for each episode.
Yes.
it was
Each-
5 weeks, right?
5 weeks.
5
I mean,
weeks.
most of our shoot days were like a 12-hour day was like an easy day, and it was, I think
They
some of our
didn't
days were like
really
14,
ever
15,
happen.
16 overnight shoots on like the camping episodes and the prom episodes and all that kind of stuff. So it was actually a very much more intense, grueling experience, I think, than
Any of us
are
thought.
really used to. I mean, we grew up in Christina, especially in the sitcom world, which is like 4 days a week, and you're out by like 3 on 2 days, and
Such
if you have a
nice
9-hour day,
It must
it's
have been
exhausting,
nice.
Yeah.
but- yeah. So by hour
11 years
13,
of
you're
very
just like,
long
be funny, be funny.
Let's talk guest stars.
Yeah,
you guys
lots
have
of them.
some amazing guest stars. Every episode has at least 2. Can you talk about your favorites?
Sure. Well, there's a whole episode with Andrew Keegan, who was like a 90s heartthrob. Unless you were living under a rock or didn't know what Bop magazine was, you would know Andrew. He guested on Full House.
He was actually on the
Step by
very
Step.
last episode of Full House that we shot. He played Stephanie's little date or boyfriend or whatever.
He was on
He was on Seventh Heaven for a few years.
He's actually has remained quite a good friend of mine, and it was really I had such a blast going back because he has a very different life now. He started this sort of non-denominational church.
Oh,
if you
that's
can call it
real?
that.
Spiritual
That's
stuff.
all real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some of the.
It's all,
I
that's
mean,
an actual
That's
thing.
the first episode, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what we do is obviously heightened,
Yes,
and
yes,
he's
I
in
know.
on the joke,
Yeah, of course.
because he's been. So many people have been saying like it's crazy and it's a cult and that they're so crazy and weird, and so
He had a
He just
lot
ran
of
with
fun.
it, yeah.
So he's playing a heightened version
Yeah,
of himself.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Everybody.
All of our guest stars, like what was really fun is I think everybody was a little nervous off the start, because you don't know what you're getting yourselves into, but they trusted us enough to come on and to play with us.
Yeah.
And once they got in, and actually they all pretty much were like, we love this. This is so much
So much
fun. We
fun,
want to do it
yeah.
again. I mean, and so everybody was game, and that made it so much more fun for us.
Soleil Moon Frye,
So she is
So funny.
hilarious.
and like 100% in right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. What about, do you guys have a favorite or
Andrea
notable?
Barber did an episode
Yeah.
where I take over an acting class, a kids acting class for her, and it goes sideways. But it was so much fun. I mean, and I like Andrea, is one of my dear, dear friends. So we had so much fun with that. And just, I remember, there's a scene between her and I, and we still, Sweetin,
Yeah.
it's sort of an art.
And we get to find out what a Kimmy Gibbler is on Urban Dictionary.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not going to say it.
No, don't say it.
up.
But
You
yeah,
wanna look
there
it
may
up.
be kids watching. But yeah, it was so much fun and it was fun to have her like kind of, in this very different world. Like I said, an unscripted comedy was unlike anything that the three of us had ever done, and definitely not anything that our guest stars had really ever experienced either. So it was this fun journey for all of us.
Yeah, great. We have time to take a few questions from the audience.
Absolutely.
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You as
I
well.
used to watch all 3 of your shows.
Oh, great.
Awesome. So my question is, do you have the final say of what does and doesn't get filmed? And also, do you ever get used to the cameras?
Well, I think we kind of, in our line of work, we have to be very comfortable with cameras. So yeah, I think it's a natural place for us.
I have someone with a camera just follow me around my house, just
Yeah.
just to make myself more comfortable. No, I'm just kidding. That would be weird. That would do weird things.
I mean, yeah, we, being executive producers of the show, obviously we weren't going to touch on anything that we didn't feel was either, I think, truthful in a way to either, the kind of character we wanted to represent or the kind of, storyline we wanted to tell. So
There
in that
were
manner-
definitely moments where
Yeah.
we were like, no, and they completely respected that and were really wonderful. So we're not going to go out there and make ourselves look bad or stupid or mean or anything like that. And so, we really had a lot of control over that. We wanted it to be funny at the end of the day, like no matter what, we want it to be funny and silly and truthful. And there's some great moments too that are really sweet, honest, like heartfelt
Yeah,
friendship.
you
moments,
see,
too.
I think that the most truthful thing about the show is the friendship and the fact that we all grew up in this very strange sorority of like having our lives documented on television
Yeah.
from a very early age.
All
So,
awkward moments
all of the awkward, so many
for
awkward
everyone
moments.
to see
Wow.
or look up.
But
the rest
that
of
will
life.
always bond us, and I think
Yes,
it will
absolutely.
always shape our perspective on the world.
Well said. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So nice to meet you. So you're all very musical. Where do your influences come from? Like, who are your favorite artists?
Oh man, some of my favorite artists. Growing up, like some of the people that I love are some great like female vocalists: Kate Bush, Tori Amos, Florence and the Machine. Like I love really strong female singers that are just very raw. So for me, that's kind of when I like if I have the choice to sing what I want to sing, it's stuff like that. It's a little bit kind of dark and edgy.
When I was probably, 12, 13, 14, I was not listening to anything anyone else was listening to. I was listening to Ella Fitzgerald and Frank Sinatra. And so I think I'm like an old woman in like a young person's body. I liked old movies. I liked old musicals. I grew up watching Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers when everyone else was like, no offense, going to New Kids on the Block concerts. Like I was just very, Joey. I mean, I laugh about that. But I was always very old school, I guess. Old soul.
Well, I was the big country fan, so which makes sense since I decided to choose a country record. But I find that my musical taste is changing because my children don't let me listen to the music that I want to listen to anymore.
Yeah, my kids sort of have. Yeah,
they're not.
I grew up on like old school hip hop too. So, but I wasn't exactly going to become the next Biggie Smalls. So
right,
I had to sort of give that up. Absolutely.
We have time for one more.
Hi, guys.
There you go.
Hi. I'm Maria, and I'm here in New York studying theater. And my question was, what is your greatest piece of advice for actors and actresses who want to get into the business, and how do you deal with nerves and like thoughts of whether or not you're good enough? And
well, I think the biggest piece of advice I always have for someone is like, it is a long, hard road, and so don't let anything that anyone ever says to you kind of get you down. And if you truly love this and want to do it, you get ready to fight. But if you have confidence in yourself, like you can make amazing things happen.
Yeah. I always say get very used to the word no.
Yeah. True.
Even as much as we've worked in this business and as many things as we've done,
there's still a lot of no's.
A lot of no's. And get real comfortable with creating your own art. You know what I mean? Don't always, the thing I think that we've learned, executive producing this show and writing and doing all these sorts of things is, you have to be able to create your own art and not rely on other people to present you with the opportunity to do that.
Definitely. Artists create. So, whether that's, if the doors are being shut, then find one to open yourself. And I think that will always keep you current. It will always keep you relevant. And, and as far as nerves go, nerves are a tough battle, man. Nerves
I still get nervous.
All the time. I mean, it's stupid how weirdly nervous I can get. Breathing helps. Remembering to breathe.
I forget to breathe.
That one helps.
A lot.
And I would probably say, everyone says like to picture everyone naked. That just makes me giggle, though.
Yeah.
So,
that just becomes very awkward.
Yeah, I do it
right now.
Yeah, I
don't like
go
that.
off
I hate that advice. I don't like that one at all.
Picture people naked.
No. Yeah, I don't want to do it.
Okay.
No.
All right. You don't have to.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't look.
Okay.
That might be an episode. I feel like everywhere you guys go, you're probably like, we should do an episode about that.
Pretty much
Yeah,
every
really
day,
do.
every conversation, we're like, oh, that could
I
be
just pitched her one this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you decide to do one that involves interviewing, just let me know.
We
and
will.
I'll be on to go
Absolutely.
to. You guys, I'm so happy that you were here. It was such a pleasure getting to
Our
know
pleasure.
all of you, and you really are darling. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sweetin, Beverley Mitchell, and Christine. Lakin.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Before we do anything else,
Yes.
Jodie, can you fill us in on what's going on with your foot?
It's purely for sympathy.
It's fashionable.
Yeah, no. About 2 months ago, I was at my older daughter's soccer tournament with my two kids, and my younger daughter, B, who is 6, threw a silly little $1 toy over about a 4-foot tall fence, and I lifted myself up over to rescue it for her, and I fell and I snapped my tibia and my ankle and had to have surgery and a steel plate put in and about 7 pins, and I just started walking on it last week, so.
On the upside, Mother of the Year.
Yeah, totally.
The $1 toy is gone, though. She's like, I think that afternoon she didn't care about it anymore, so it was totally worth it.
Oh, man. Is that the same ankle you injured during Dancing with the Stars?
I actually didn't injure my ankle during Dancing with the Stars. I bruised the side of my foot, the bones in the side of my foot.
But it was the other
But
foot?
it was the same foot.
Oh.
And I've broken this ankle before. So I have very bad luck on the left side of my body. I've broken
Well,
my
I'm glad
left
to be
wrist
sitting on
twice.
your
like,
left
yeah,
side.
it's just, yeah. Now you all know my medical history as well.
Thank
so
you. Thank you for
I know
that.
you've been waiting for that.
Well, now we can move on and talk about
yes,
Hollywood
the important
Darlings.
fun stuff. And look, there I am. There's I'm jumping. I'm so happy.
Just days before it happened,
Yes,
too.
it was.
Oh man, well I'm glad you got that photo shoot done before,
So am I.
before the injury. You guys all look so cute. And I've gotten to see advanced episodes, so I can tell you guys from experience, this show is fantastic. I feel
thank
like
you.
I've gotten to know you a little bit because you've created this show playing versions of yourselves.
Yes.
Exaggerated.
So I would like to know what is it about each of you that you brought to the show, and what is it that you have invented for the show?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll start. So I play a much more exaggerated version of myself in that I'm sort of the hippy-dippy. I am definitely the kind of like avant-garde. I'm the one to sort of like say the things that shock everyone. There's a part of me that is like that in real life because I just, especially with my friends, I enjoy making people laugh. I will be a clown for a joke. If I can make you laugh, I'm happy to be the idiot, the lovable fool. So
And
that's a little bit part of my
Christine
personality.
really
anyway.
does a lot of idiocy in the show. But I mean that but like hilarious, really over the top, ridiculous.
Start,
fun
Jodie,
stuff.
start.
Yeah.
I love there's an episode where Christine decides her life won't be complete until she goes to the prom. And
Yes.
hilarity
That was
ensues.
so much fun.
Thank you. And I actually did go to my prom, but we thought what a fun way to, since we were all growing up on television, there were certain things that we kind of missed out on. So the idea of me trying to go back to prom and finding a prom date, it just got more and more ridiculous as the episode goes on. So I eventually get kicked out because I'm just such a crazy person.
But by the way, I have to say you totally rocked that pink and black glitter dress. I'm
hello,
obsessed with it.
Dress
That
Yeah, that
was
dress was
hers.
kind of amazing.
That came from her
You
closet
own that dress?
in real life.
Do.
Wow.
That was actually from an.
Wait, that's yours?
That's mine.
didn't know that?
Just
I
watch
can-
just
did I
for
not
the
know
dress.
By
you
the way,
guys.
I can be cool sometimes. It's very rare.
Honey, that
Always
dress
that-
is not cool.
It is. It's so. I mean, I guess maybe that's saying something
I mean,
about
it
it.
was.
I love
it was at one point in our lives.
Okay. What
you
about
still
you,
have it.
Beverly?
That you just
Bev?
took away from it. Yes.
What's something about you that you brought to the show, and what's something that you exaggerated for the show or
I would
invented?
like to think that I am not as over the top, square, as I am on the show. I mean, I think I definitely stop. I definitely play I'm not as innocent as I play on TV. I think I like to have fun as well. But on this show, I was definitely the girl that's in bed by 8 o'clock, unless I'm Pinteresting, which I might be doing, or creating vision boards for things, which I would also be doing on the show.
I love the camping episode where
I am the prepared girl, and I am the girl, if you need something, I pretty much have the person for you.
Yeah, that's very true.
I have a very deep Rolodex of people, so if you
She's
need
got
a
a guy
gardener
for everything.
or
Yeah.
Well connected.
Yes.
yes.
I'll keep that in mind. And
yeah,
how about you?
I mean, I am definitely not as sort of, cold-hearted as I am in the show. I mean, and I don't think it's cold-hearted, but it's, I definitely play a very
Sardonic.
sardonic, very, it's kind of dark, sarcastic. And I do have that personality, but, when it comes to my kids and my family, there's an episode about a minivan purchase that
Right.
I am very
Or
resistant to.
non-purchase,
Right.
yeah.
And, ironically, that actually is my minivan that we used in the show, and I love my minivan.
And I do
have,
not
I mean, I
own a
have my
minivan.
other car, but that car I love.
I'm afraid
so
of the
it was,
minivan.
it was really funny, actually.
So you guys obviously are known. I love the name Hollywood Darlings, by the way, because I feel like it's.
You do too.
I feel
fought for
like
that.
darling has a double meaning, right? It
Absolutely.
means you're celebrated and everybody loves you, but it also is a bit diminutive, which is a callback to the fact that you guys all started working. And we, as the public, got to see you from a really young age. It's look, so cute.
Absolutely.
And now
then
you're
also,
adult
if
women.
we're in this show, once you watch some of the episodes, we're sort of anything but darling little, and so that was kind of a fun thing. It was Hollywood darlings, and yet here we are, making complete fools of ourselves and being very adult and very, very much not the child stars that we were 30 years ago.
It seems to me that you, through this show, are both sort of taking yourself out of the 90s zeitgeist, but also embracing your role in it.
Definitely.
Like there's an episode where, spoiler alert, wait, do you say how rude in one of the episodes or somebody else does?
I think
we go to a fan convention.
Yes, that's right.
And I'm, where we're signing autographs, and I sort of say, gosh, it's so great that you have a catchphrase, because when people come up to talk to you, you can just be like, how rude. And they're like, oh, that's amazing. And they just sign the picture and leave. And then we made fun of the fact that, like, I just get sucked into these conversations and people are telling me their medical histories and their sad story. And I'm just like, oh, I know, I get it.
And you just wish you could be like, how rude.
And I was like, God, if I just had a catchphrase.
Yeah. And of course, we just saw a clip of you guys getting approached by fans. I understand a lot of real life situations have made their way into the show. I can only imagine how often you're approached.
That happens quite a bit.
Like last night.
Yeah.
Were you guys all together?
We all went out to dinner last night, and the hostess seating us was like, oh my gosh, it's Jodie Sweetin and Beverley Mitchell. And Christine was like, huh? And we're like,
oh, yeah, no problem.
Christine,
You'll take the picture?
Right,
Great.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm like the Rodney Dangerfield of the group. I get no respect, but it's fine. I'm okay with it. I embrace this part of it, and I think I just need to either wear a backwards hat all the time.
Yeah, you just need the green hat.
Yeah, the green hat. But no, it's very funny, and of course that was like one of the things we just had to put in the show because it was too rich, and it's a runner throughout
the whole series. Yeah,
and through life.
Do you really say, when you take the picture, do you really say Al Lambert?
I mean, that was just, I didn't do it last night, but I have wanted to many times.
I think I'm going to start saying that to people instead of say cheese.
I'm going to start saying it too and really throw them off. Al Lambert, yeah, there you go.
Do you guys watch yourselves on TV when the episodes come on? Do you have them on DVDs? Do you...
Step by Step hasn't
you
aired
actively
in a
avoid
really
it?
long time, but it was airing for a while, and I can't say I was like, rushing to like tune in, but I did catch a few. It's weird. It's like watching a scrapbook of your life, but it's not really you. But I can remember, like, I still remember lines. Like, all of a sudden, the scene will start, and I'll be like, oh, God, I know the punchline. Right. How do I remember that?
Yeah.
I can't remember what I ate for breakfast, but I can remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know that my kids have watched some of the older episodes, but I don't really. I've never watched much of the show, and I've watched the Fuller House episodes. Before they air, we kind of screen them at our producer's house and stuff. So I've watched those, but I definitely am not one to like sit and watch myself on TV. It feels strange and
I used to love to watch Seventh Heaven. I even had my date with my husband. I was trying to impress him, so I made him watch my show, and he thought I was an absolute
This is a real
weirdo.
thing that happened.
Was that while it was still on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. We were. I thought it was gonna make me like really cool, and that he would be like, "Wow, this chick's awesome."
Well, he did end up marrying you.
No, he was
Not
like,
that impressed.
"You are bizarre." But apparently,
Did you make it through a whole episode though?
No, he turned it off after
Okay.
the first commercial break. He was just like, "I can't do this. This is just weird." And
My husband has never seen Step by Step.
Really? Still?
I know, but he played football and he wrestled. So, like, on Friday nights, they just weren't home, and they weren't like going to record a show. Like, that wasn't.
It was different.
Yeah, because back then you had to
back
have
when
like
VHS. Was
you had to have like an engineering degree to program your
Yeah,
VCR.
yeah.
I mean,
I can't believe that Step by Step hasn't been brought back. That it's
Isn't it
not like
weird?
on Nick at Night or something.
let's just like hashtag bring it back. Step by
Yeah, bring back Step by Step. Maybe you can talk to the people at Pop.
Step. Maybe we could.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be actually cool. Just like
I know
show
someone
this
there.
show and have it lead into
Totally.
old episodes of your shows. I'm actually wondering. You guys are all parents, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether having access to that material of yourself as a child, whether or not you watch it, has any kind of impact on your parenting. Like, do you
For me,
feel like
not
you have more
really.
access to remembering or understanding your own childhood as a way to empathize with them because you were in the public eye?
I mean, my own childhood is vastly different from my kids' childhood. What I was doing when I was my kids' age, I had a full-time job, and my kids are like, oh, I've got homework. I'm like, oh, stop it. Like, I don't want to hear it. Do you know what I was doing at your age? It's walking uphill in the snow both ways to Warner Brothers Studios. No, but yeah, I mean, the way I parent my kids is just so very different from what I grew up doing. But I think, having that experience, has helped me kind of I was I think we all were, we grew up so early, we had such adult responsibilities at such an early age. I think sometimes, like, I realize when my kids are just being, 9 and 6, like, they've been on the planet for 9 years and 6 years respectively, like, I shouldn't really expect that much.
If anything, I think it's made me a lot more empathetic towards my mom.